On the title of my YouTube channel and blog, This Moment, one aspect is, of course, the astrological correlation to the moment in time in which we're born, and the very powerful knowledge contained in the chart for that moment. But also, there is the philosophy / practice of this moment, irrespective of the astrology. Although in the astrological lexicon, it's connected to Saturn, Saturn being the ruler of time, chronos. And if you think about it, this moment, the idea of being in the moment, which is something many people believe is possibly the highest goal of life in order to be happy, that's a Saturn thing. It's a time thing. It's a time mastery thing. But of course, even if it's a great philosophy, how does one practice this? And it would seem to me that if one doesn't practice it in some way, integrate it into one's way of being, then it's an interesting idea, an interesting philosophy, but it tends to fade into the background. Great talking point to discuss with people, but is it really happening? Is it really true? And to my understanding, the idea is to practice it. It's super important to practice it. Personally, I feel that meditation is probably the best practice to nurture, to build this faculty, for sure. In meditation, it's either confronted, you could say, or else it's practiced more easily depending on how well the meditation is going at any given day. But it's definitely the best place to practice in stillness. But then we have a lot of hours during the day in action, and one can practice there as well. I noticed that in order to connect with this idea, I practice it in simple ways. Moving from room to room, I connect with the feeling of my feet touching the ground, so that there's a sense, a conscious sense. It's very important to engage the conscious sense of it, meaning I am here, I am walking, I know that I'm doing this. And a further way might be perhaps to be aware of the tone of my voice when I'm speaking. Anything that I might be doing in an ordinary sense, if I am conscious that I am doing it, if I do something and I'm there with it in a conscious way, then I'm actually practicing this. I'm engaging with the depth of the idea, and slowly but surely it is being grooved into my nervous system, and it is becoming more and more natural. This, by the way, is in a very real sense bringing in Jupiter, because Saturn is the contracting principle. And yet, if anyone is contracting in any sense, like for example, you lift weights, you contract in order to expand the muscle. Or you do work, Saturn contraction, in order to reach some level of prosperity, some level of happiness later. However, if I am in the moment, I am focusing Saturn by being in the moment, I am seeking to master time, Saturn, and at the same time I endeavor to relax, to merge with the moment in a relaxed way. For example, I'm walking while consciously releasing the solar plexus, relaxing, taking my time. Right? This is bringing in Jupiter, which is the perfect counterpoint to Saturn. These two planets are extremely important in astrology, and I would say finding the balance, finding the connection, finding the relationship between the two of them is critical toward life success and happiness.